Well, I'm glad to be making another video talking about Sonic.EXE. Now, you guys haven't checked out my review on Sonic.EXE The Disaster, I recommend go checking that video out. That video pretty much summarizes why I think Sonic.EXE The Disaster is an underrated masterpiece. Now, in that video, I did plan to make videos more about this whole topic. Whether I talk about a certain character, Kolossos, or I make videos about the fan games, and plan to make a video about one specific fan game, which I'm still not going to spoil it, by the way. But anyways, I just want to get to, well, the point of this video. In this Sonic.EXE The Disaster video, I'm going to be talking about a character that people use way too much. And that character is none other than Kolossos. Now, before you guys ask, who the heck is Kolossos? Well, I'm glad you asked. Kolossos, or as he used to be referred to as Big EXE, is basically Outlag's OC, or at least his take on Sonic.EXE. Kolossos is pretty much a big brute variant of Sonic.EXE, like I said, created by Outlag, and his whole thing is, well, also killing, just like regular Sonic.EXE. Except he's not as like supernatural power. Well, I mean, he is a supernatural. He's like what, a demon taking the form of Sonic. What I meant by that is that he doesn't have he isn't as tactical wise like Sonic.EXE, but he can still be a big punching. He could still be a big major punch to you. Now, why am I talking about Kolossos, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to be talking about why do people use this character so much. Because if you have watched my streams, or even watched my videos, or even watched any other Sonic.EXE TD content creator, you would know that almost every game, you would encounter the same character over and over and over again. Sure, you'll encounter Sonic.EXE, but every other game, you're just most likely encountering Kolossos. Every game, you're facing against the same character. Kolossos, 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 Kolossos. And once in a while, you will face against Sonic.EXE, and then it goes back to Kolossos, 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 and Kolossos. He is all over the place. It's at a point where it's not even called Sonic.EXE at this point. Now it's just called Kolossos The Disaster. But jokes aside, I want to at least come up with, well, actually, I came up with theories to why people are playing as Kolossos. I mean, they could be facts, but I don't know. I'm just here to explain things about why are people using Kolossos. But before I even talk about Kolossos, I'm going to go ahead and go on about, well, the stats of both Kolossos and Sonic.EXE. And basically go from there to maybe give us some explanation why people prefer to play Kolossos more than Sonic.EXE. So let's go with Sonic.EXE for a sec. Sonic.EXE deals a whopping, what, 45 damage when he attacks you with the basic attack, while his spin dash only deals 5 damage. Meanwhile, Kolossos can deal a whopping, what, 65 damage? While his charge ability can also deal a whopping 25 damage, most likely. Or 30, I don't know. Now, both of these stats combined, you can clearly tell that, yeah, Kolossos seems way stronger than Sonic.EXE. And EXE that is stronger than the OG himself? That's crazy. But, there's more. You see, Sonic.EXE runs, well, faster than you, of course. Kolossos is also faster than you. However, Kolossos is also slower than Sonic.EXE. So even Kolossos can catch up to you, he is slower than Sonic.EXE. Meanwhile, Sonic.EXE can catch you up pretty significantly fine, while Kolossos, because he's a big brute, he is taking a little longer to even catch up to you. But we still don't know why people prefer to choose Kolossos over Sonic.EXE. let's talk about the lunge attacks they do. With Sonic.EXE, you have to hold the attack button to do a lunge before you can let go to swing your attack. With Kolossos, he will immediately lunge as soon as you click the attack button. You don't have to hold or anything, he will just immediately lunge. Now, we will go over their abilities. Sonic.EXE got his base attack, obviously. He's got the spin dash, where he has to go in spin dash form, and you have to spam the button to charge it up before unleashing it to go full speed to, well, either use it for traversal purposes and use it to damage the survivors, even though it only deals 5 damage. And then we got Sonic.EXE's laugh ability, which of course is just a taunt, nothing else, nothing more. Then there is his decoys, or at least his indicator ability. Sonic.EXE will just go invisible, and you have the extra ability to summon decoys. You just summon the decoys to, well, fool your opponents. Then we have his last ability, where it's basically his teleport ability. You can place down some teleportation points. If you click a set button, it will teleport you to said teleportation point. This is pretty useful if you want to, well, catch up to survivor very quick. If they run to a certain spot you place your teleportation point at, or you can use it to get away from something like Metal Sonic's self-destruct. Now we go to Kolossos' abilities. We got his first ability, which is his attack, and then we got the typical laugh taunt, nothing much really. Then we got his other abilities. We got his indicator ability, which unlike Sonic.EXE, instead of going invisible, the screen will just glow red and it just reveals the locations of the survivors. Nothing much really. And then we got his grab ability. Yes, the infinite grab ability, which used to actually belong to Sonic.EXE during 1.0 and 1.1 of Sonic.EXE TD. And even during the old days of 1.2 as well. However, when Kolossos was added in, that ability was given to him. That way Sonic.EXE can have newer abilities. Cause, yeah, why not? Plus, it actually does make them more unique instead of just, you know, being basic at best. So, we got the grab ability out of the way. So, you already know what a grab ability does. You get close to the survivor, you grab them, and then you start beating them to death, and then you either just hold them until they get rescued, or you just hold them until no survivor gets there in time before the teammate that you are holding dies. Well, the survivor that you are holding dies. Now we get to Kolossos' other abilities, the charge. Unlike a spin dash, where you have to spam a button to start going fast with a spin dash, when you use the charge ability on Kolossos, Kolossos will immediately charge at you in full speed, in a straight line. He'll either stop by either the ability ending, or if he runs to an out of bounds area to the point it will force him to stop, or he will bump into a wall, like I tend to do many times when playing Kolossos. Or it can simply be stopped by said characters, like if Knuckles blocks the charge, then Kolossos will just get pushed back and that's it. Even though this ability is just as counterable as the spin dash obviously, it is slightly better than the spin dash despite its downfalls too. With the spin dash you can move around while spinning dashing. Kolossos, you are in a straight line, so you can't control him when doing so. But in a way, Kolossos' charge ability is somewhat better because it deals more damage than the spin dash, doing a whopping 25 damage while the freaking spin dash only deals like 5 damage. So now we get to, yeah, that's just about it with Kolossos. So now that we talked about their stats, and of course we talked about them and such, why do people still play Kolossos More? Well, considering there's only 2 EXEs you can choose from, it would make sense if one decides to, you know, stick with Kolossos while the other stick with Sonic.EXE, obviously. But I've seen more Kolossoses more than just Sonic.EXE. almost every match, I always encounter Kolossos, and rarely do I ever see Sonic.EXE. Why do people play Kolossos more than Sonic.EXE? Well, I think I can come up with an answer for that. He's just the easier character. He's just the easier option. I mean, let's face it, despite him being slower than Sonic.EXE, he deals a whopping 35 damage, or I think 65 damage, I don't fucking know. And his charge ability, while you can't control him because he runs in a straight line, is significantly better than the spin dash because it can deal a whopping 20 or 30 damage. And then he's also got the infinite grab ability, which is pretty much a guaranteed instant death, pretty much. While Sonic.EXE, yes, he's also pretty good. However, power-wise, he's not as strong as Kolossos. Sonic.EXE can deal only a whopping 45 damage with his big attack, while his spin dash only deals 5 damage. Plus, he's got other abilities too that can also help him out. Oh, and not to mention, we also got Kolossos' last ability, which I forgot to bring up with the abilities. Kolossos can block. Yes, Kolossos can really block, which means he is really good against someone like Knuckles, Amy, and I think Shadow too, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Sonic.EXE, you actually have to be really skillful when dealing with someone like Knuckles or Amy or any stunners in general. Because you can't block as Sonic.EXE. Kolossos can. So Kolossos can really block, giving him the upper advantage against someone like Knuckles or even maybe most likely Amy too. Meanwhile, Sonic.EXE, you have to be careful or else you get stunned. So Kolossos is basically better at dealing with stunners. Not all of them, because some of them, the blocks don't work against them, but he's definitely good against someone like Knuckles and Amy. So Kolossos is definitely better because of the block ability. And he's definitely better because of how much whopping damages he can deal with both his basic and his charge ability, despite his movement speed being slower than Sonic.EXE. Now, like I said, Sonic.EXE himself isn't as bad, but Kolossos, well, he's just significantly better because of how much damage he can deal and how quickly he can wipe out an entire team. While Sonic.EXE can still wipe out a team, it's just he's not as powerful like Kolossos is. Now, we get to my second theory to why people play as Kolossos more than Sonic.EXE. Now, I already explained about my third theory that people just play as Kolossos more often because he's just the easier option and people just want to win the game because, you know, they just want to win, so they just play the stronger character. But I think my second theory is to why people love playing as Kolossos is they just find him more fun to play than Sonic.EXE. Hell, I'll definitely admit right now, I actually main Kolossos. Yeah, I'll play Sonic.EXE, but I play Kolossos more because I just have more fun playing as Kolossos than Sonic.EXE. I love being this big bad boy who just charges at you and just rams you over. It's satisfying when you get it's even satisfying when you down someone with the charge, which is, yeah, pretty cool. It's still satisfying regardless when you're damaging them with the charge though, because it's funny. Anyways, and yes, I do love getting hits with the spin dash as well, but I don't know, I just seem more satisfying when getting the charge hits with Kolossos over there. Now, I think that's all I have to say, unless if I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, my third theory, which I already talked about already, people just want to win. I mean, let's face it, like, even though Sonic.EXE Disaster is not meant to be a competitive game, which pretty much every freaking Roblox game is not meant to be competitive, but this is a multiplayer game we're talking about. This is a PvP. It's one killer versus all survivors. So you can clearly tell that, yeah, there's going to be some competition. People want to win. One team wants to win while the one guy also wants to win. So if you're just playing the game for fun, you will eventually go against really good teams who will just absolutely demolish you, and there is not much you can do about it. Even if you're playing as Kolossos 2, you still can get demolished, even if you know how to play as him. But the point I'm trying to get at is that people just simply want to play Kolossos because he's more stronger than Sonic.EXE. They just want to win. Not because they just want to have fun, not because they just have fun playing as him more Sonic.EXE. They just simply want to win. Like I said, even though it's not meant to be competitive, it's a PvP. There are players who will be competitive. So you gotta expect, well, for the worst, I guess. Anyways, yeah, that's all I gotta really say about this video. That's my explanation to why I think people play as Kolossos more than Sonic.EXE. Now, I do want to make a statement here that this video is not meant to attack those who just love Kolossos. This video is just me explaining, in my opinion, by the way, why I think people play as Kolossos more than Sonic.EXE. I mean, I play Kolossos a lot, so, I mean, I'm quite guilty myself because I play as him a lot. But, you know, I'm just trying to say this, don't be a dick or attack others just because they like playing as a said character. I mean, let's face it, there's only 2 fucking EXEs you can choose from Sonic.EXE TD, which is just Kolossos and Sonic.EXE. So if people prefer to play as just one of the EXEs, let them. It's their choice. They're allowed to play as said EXE. They're allowed to be the OG himself, or they're allowed to be the big bad boy himself, Kolossos. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. Hope you enjoy. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you want to see more videos, I'll gladly provide some more when I have the time to do so. Anyways, fellas, I'll see you guys next time.